You never plan these nights. They don't circle your calendar or arrive with announcements. They slip in quietly between footsteps, between glances, between questions that never needed answers. This isn't a story about falling in love. It's about finding someone just once who sees you in a moment you didn't know you were offering. One night, no promises. Just breath and silence and the way hands can speak when words step aside. You step outside because the room is too loud. Not just in sound, but in energy, the way people laugh too sharply. The way glasses clink like they're afraid of being ignored. The way eyes move too fast from face to face. You need a pause, even if just for a breath. The air outside is cooler, stretched wide by space and sky, and for a moment, you're grateful the door closed behind you. The street is quiet in that blurry way only midnight brings. Headlights drift past, a street lamp flickers above you. You slip your hand into your coat pocket and feel the crumpled pack. One cigarette left. You bring it to your lips, but no flame follows. You forgot your lighter, and then he's there, not in a grand entrance, not in some cinematic reveal, just a figure leaning against the brick wall to your right, the glow of his phone lighting one side of his face. You can't see much, just the curve of his jaw, the outline of a coat collar pulled high. The calm way he stands, not waiting for anything, just existing. Hey, you say gently, voice low. You have a light? He looks up slow like someone waking from a dream. His eyes meet yours steady, brown, maybe hazel. You can't tell in this light. He doesn't smile right away, but his expression softens. He reaches into his pocket and flicks his lighter once. It sparks. Then again, this time a steady flame. You lean in, cupping your hands around your cigarette. The flame brushes your face, warm, close. His fingers are sure, but not hurried. When you inhale, he waits patient until the tip glows and you pull back. Thanks. You say, letting the smoke leave your mouth slowly. He nods once. It didn't look like you wanted to go back in. You glance at the door behind you. Two. Many people trying to be louder than their loneliness. He gives a soft huff of a laugh, not mocking, not too amused. Just present, fair. You both fall quiet. He doesn't ask your name. You don't ask his dot. It feels right to just stand beside each other for a while. A comfortable silence, the kind that doesn't beg to be filled. You're both watching the same thing, the streetlights. Bleeding yellow over the pavement, a couple arguing half a block away. The hush of a city too tired to pretend it's alive anymore. You from around here? He asks finally. You nod. Close enough. You look like you belong here, but not tonight. You glance over. What makes you say that? He shrugs. You walked out like the air out here was yours. You smile a little at that, exhaling. Smoke into the sky. Maybe it is. He tilts his head. Do you always let strangers light your cigarette? Only the ones who don't ask for anything after. He smiles now, just a little. Just enough for you to see it's rare. And then something shifts, not in him, not in you, but in the space between you. A loosening, a lean. Not closer, just inward. You offer the cigarette toward him. He takes it, inhales once, then hands it back. You don't talk like you're here for small talk. Neither do you. And it's true. You don't know where he's from, or what he does, or why he's here. but you know something that feels more important. He sees you without looking too hard. He's not trying to solve you, not trying to impress you. He's just standing in the same quiet as you, and that feels like enough. Want to sit? You ask. He glances down the sidewalk, then back at you. Sure. You both slide down the wall and sit on the curb. The street curves out in front of you like a forgotten song. You lean back on your hands, and he mirrors the posture. There's a rhythm to this now, not rehearsed, but instinctive. A stillness that feels like conversation even before the next. Words form. So, he says eventually, what would you be doing right now if you weren't in there pretending to enjoy the party? You think about it, maybe reading. Maybe walking somewhere without a destination. Midnight walks, best kind. He hums softly, and then I was going to walk too, but I stopped here. Why? He looks at you. Maybe because you were going to walk out that door. You don't answer. The silence holds that sentence like a breath too fragile to release. You look away first, not out of discomfort, but because looking too long at someone who says something true can undo you. The cigarette burns low. You drop it to the curb and grind it out with your shoe dot. He watches the motion, then looks up again. You want to walk? And the question isn't loud, isn't layered with meaning or suggestion. It's just a thread being offered. A yes that waits. You nod. He stands first and offers a hand, not insistently, not theatrically. Just their dot, you take it, and for a brief moment, his fingers close around yours, dot warm, dot steady, dot unspoken, dot you let go once you're up. Neither of you says anything about it. You turn toward the edge of the block and step into the night. Dot together, dot you walk without direction. No destination, no plan. Just footsteps pressed into the city's quiet skin. The kind of walk that feels like a drifting thought soft at the edges, real only because you are both in it. The night is not cold, but crisp enough that you notice the warmth where your shoulder brushes his. You don't pull away. You don't comment on it. Neither does he. The silence between you isn't hollow, it's attentive. The way a forest feels quiet, not because there's nothing there, but because everything is listening. He matches your pace without asking. No one leads, no one follows. It's more like orbiting each of you, circling the same invisible center, pulled forward by something that feels unspoken but mutual. Dot after a block or two, he breaks the silence with something soft. You talk like you read a lot. You glance over, surprised not by the question, but by how accurate it feels. I do. What kind of books? You think for a second. The kind where nothing explodes. The kind where people sit in rooms and say things they didn't mean to say. He smiles at that, a small curve of the mouth. So, conversations? Exactly. He nods, as if he understands. I like stories where people don't fix each other. They just sit with the mess and stay. You look at him, really look, and wonder if he's always like this, quietly philosophical, or just tonight. Either way, it feels rare. And rare doesn't have to be explained. It just has to be noticed. He stops at a storefront window. Old books line the glass, their spines faded. A small lamp glows inside. I used to come here during storms, he says. Used to? They close early now. Or maybe I just show up too late. You both stand there, watching the books as if they might open themselves, offer a story that mirrors yours. You feel the weight of the moment, how gently it presses into your ribs, like a memory forming in real time. Why were you at that place tonight? He asks after a while, still not looking at you. Friend dragged me. She wanted me to meet people. Did you? You tilt your head slightly toward him. One, maybe. He looks at you, then, and the pause between his glance and his next breath says more than any compliment could. You keep walking. The streets are emptier now. Just the hum of a distant car. The occasional blink of a traffic light changing for no. One, you feel untethered from time, like the night has made a room for the two of you and locked the door behind it. Dot. He asks questions gently, never too deep, never too light, just enough to open doors without stepping in. You find yourself answering without hesitation, talking about things that usually only come out in the middle of insomnia. How you sometimes feel like you're watching your own life from just outside it. How silence feels more honest than small talk. How you sometimes sit in cafes and make up stories about the people around you just to feel something. He listens. He doesn't try to fix it, doesn't offer advice. He just walks and listens and lets your thoughts hang in the air like mist. He speaks. I think most people are just waiting for someone to ask the second question. You slow your steps. What do you mean? The first question is easy. How are you? What do you do? Small stuff. But the second question, that's the one that says, I'm actually here. I actually care. You nod. No one ever stays long enough for the second one. He glances at you. I would. You believe him. You don't know why. You just do, and maybe that's what trust really is, not a result of time, but of tone. The way someone speaks into your silence without making it feel like absence. The way they don't rush your pauses. The way they walk beside you without trying to arrive too soon. You pass under a bridge. The echo of your steps fills the space above you. For a moment, the world feels like a cave, ancient and private. He stops. You do too. There's a rooftop near here, he says. No one uses it. No locks. You can see everything. You look at him, not suspicious, not uncertain, just curious. He doesn't push. He simply waits, hands in his coat pockets, as if it's up to you whether the night expands or ends. You think about how safe you feel in his presence, not because he's promised anything, but because he hasn't demanded anything. Either. You nod. Okay. He leads. You follow, not because you don't know where you're going, but because you trust that wherever you end up, you'll be exactly where you need to be. The city is a blur behind you now. You follow him through quiet streets, past shuttered cafes and lamplit stoops. His steps are unhurried, yours matching by instinct. It feels like walking through a dream with someone who knows how not to wake you. There's no destination, and somehow that feels safer than any place with a door and a address. He leads you through narrow alleys softened by vines, past iron gates that squeak faintly when brushed, across intersections where the red lights blink lazily as if even traffic has given up on urgency. The buildings lean in close like they're listening, and you're no longer thinking about how late it is, or whether this is wise, or whether tomorrow will require answers. The world has shrunk to this. Footfalls, streetlight shadows, and the rhythm of his voice when he finally speaks. I don't usually do this, he says. You glance at him, curious. Walk strangers around like this? You smile. I don't usually follow them. He laughs, slow and soft. Good. I was hoping we were both out of character. And you are. That's what makes it feel sacred. Not out of control, just outside of habit. Sometimes a moment only becomes real when it doesn't fit the shape of your life. When it exists entirely in the space between things. He pauses at a corner, glancing up. The street narrows into a little block with ivy climbing the sides of the buildings. There's a bakery closed for the night, its windows fogged, a chalkboard sign still leaning outside, smudged by dew. He gestures. I always forget this part of the city exists. Feels like a postcard someone never sent. You take in the stillness, the way the light spills unevenly across the pavement, the faint scent of rosemary from a nearby planter, the hush that comes when even the sky seems to be holding its breath. You say softly, this feels like the part in a story where everything could go quiet forever and I'd still be okay. He looks at you a little longer this time. Yeah, same. You keep walking. There's a window. You both stop at an antique shop with an old telescope displayed like it's watching the street. You step closer. Inside, the faint outlines of maps and globes and hourglasses shimmer under soft golden light. You ever wonder if people used to fall in love slower? You ask, your voice nearly a whisper, like across months. Letters, walks like this, nothing instant. He nods. Probably. But maybe they also felt things more clearly, because there wasn't noise all the time. You look at the telescope. I'd rather be seen slowly than seen first. Me too, he says. Your eyes meet in the reflection. Neither of you says anything more. The walk resumes like an exhale. Your hand brushes his once. Not an accident, but not on purpose either. He doesn't grab it. He doesn't ask for more. But his arm stays closer now, just near enough that you feel the electricity of nearness, the heat of someone not rushing. But not pulling away. It's that space in between, where one is allowed to linger without needing to become. You stop next beneath a fire escape. Above it, a tangle of vines and laundry lines. There's a narrow staircase leading to a landing. He points up, almost there. You nod, and he steps forward first, boots on metal. You follow. The stairs creak under your weight, but not in a way that feels unsafe. Just alive. Halfway up, you glance down. The street below looks different now, smaller, softer, as if the city has tilted slightly to let this one night stretch longer. At the top, a narrow rooftop greets you. No lights. Just the sky. And space. And quiet. The kind that wraps itself around you without asking for permission. He waits for you to step fully onto the roof before he moves. You walk toward the edge together, where a low stone ledge gives view to the endless shapes of sleeping buildings, chimneys, rusted satellite dishes, a rooftop garden 3 stories down. From here, the city doesn't pulse. It hums. And the silence between you turns into something else. Not absence, not hesitation, but a kind of agreement that whatever this night is, it's real. Not for what it will become, but for what it already is. He sits down, back against the ledge. You follow, your knees almost touch, and you don't speak Dot because now words would be too small for what's happening in the air. This isn't a conversation anymore, Dot. It's a presence, Dot, shared, Dot, and enough that the air up here feels different than or somehow more aware of itself. The rooftop doesn't creak beneath you. It listens. It holds both of you like a page waiting for ink, not to be written in, but remembered from. You sit with your legs crossed, facing the city like it's a sea you've only just discovered. He sits beside you, not touching, not speaking, only existing close enough that you can feel the weight of his presence, the way you feel the weight of your own heartbeat. Subtle, steady, undeniable Dot below. The city is a muted ocean of windows and stories. You can see into a few of them. A man washing dishes alone, a woman dancing with her arms above her head, the flicker of a television across someone's bedroom wall. None of them know you're here, watching from above, a quiet witness to lives that will never intersect with yours. He leans back on his hands, tilts his head to the sky. Funny, he says quietly. I've seen this rooftop 100 times. From the street, never thought to come up. You follow his gaze. The stars aren't bright city lights, swallows most of them, but the few that remain seem sharper because of it, like survivors of some ancient sky. I think places like this only appear when you're not looking for them. You say, he nods, like people. You glance sideways, and he's already looking at you, not in a way that feels invasive, but as if he's making sure you're still here. That this moment didn't vanish when you weren't paying attention. I'm glad you asked for a light. He says, I'm glad you had one. A silence settles again, not empty, but full of what was said and what doesn't need to be. Tuck your legs under you. A breeze rises, brushing your hair against your cheek. Without a word, he reaches out gently, brushing the strand back, his fingers light as breath. His hand lingers for half a second too long, resting near your jaw, Dot, then it drops away. Not because the moment ended, but because it deepened. You both lean back now, side by side, shoulders just brushing. His coat rustles softly when he moves. The night smells like rust and lilacs and distant pavement heat. You don't feel cold. You feel suspended, like the air itself is cradling this moment in its palms. He begins to speak, not loudly, not with urgency, just enough to offer something. Of himself. There was a girl once, he says, voice low. Years ago. She was like this night. Unexpected, full of space. You don't ask what happened. You just wait. She left in the morning, he continues, and I never really saw her again. But I still think about how quiet everything felt with her. Like, I didn't need to prove anything. You nod. Sometimes people don't need to stay to give you something that stays. He turns to look at you. Is that what this is? You meet his gaze, long enough to feel the heat rise just beneath your skin. I don't know, you whisper, but it's real. And that's enough, Dot. He shifts slightly, his thigh pressing into yours now. Not hard, not urgent, just there. You let it stay. You want it to stay, Dot, above you. The sky turns slightly lighter, not quite dawn, just the suggestion of it. Time is moving, but slowly, like it knows you haven't finished what this night came to offer. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out something small. A candy wrapped in clear, crinkled paper. He offers it wordlessly. You take it, unwrap it slowly. The minty sweetness fills your mouth. Childlike, grounding. You always carry these? You ask only when I don't know where I'll end up. You smile, but I'm glad you didn't. He laughs quietly, and it feels like something breaks open, not between you, but within you. A soft loosening. You hadn't realized how tightly you'd been holding yourself together until now. Minutes pass. Maybe more dot. Then he turns toward you again. Can I kiss you? The words land gently. No hunger, no pressure. Just a door cracked open. You don't speak. You just lean in. The kiss is soft, unrushed, the kind of kiss that asks nothing but presence. His lips taste faintly of sugar and wind. His hand finds the side of your neck, not gripping, just resting. You melt into it, not to disappear, but to arrive more fully inside your own skin. You stay like that for a while, just lips and breath, and the warmth of another body saying, I'm here. I see you. When you pull back, there's no need for apology. No awkward smile. Just breath. Shared. Slow that you lie down on your side. He lies beside you. The rooftop holds you both like a secret. This is a place you'll never find again. You know that. Even if you came back tomorrow, it wouldn't be the same, because it isn't the bricks or the view or the stars that make it what it is, Dot. It's the night, dot, the timing, dot, the stranger, dot, the silence, the kiss, the stillness. Afterward, you close your eyes and the city goes quiet. You lie on your side, the rooftop's old surface beneath your body, warm from the heat it's held all day. He lies behind you now, close but not pressing in. There's a space between your bodies, a gentle stillness like the pause between heartbeats. His arm is draped loosely over your waist, not gripping, just resting as if he's asking permission, not with touch, but with presence. The breeze picks up again. Your hair moves across your cheek, and he reaches slowly to brush it away. His fingers linger a moment longer this time. The hush in the air carries something new, now something deeper than the spark that began outside the bar. It's not tension. It's not hunger. It's attention. You turn to face him. You don't say anything. Neither does he, because some moments don't need words. They would only clutter what the body already knows. You study him now, this stranger who doesn't feel like one. His face is lit by the faded glow of the sky, cheekbones softened, eyes steady, lips parted slightly as if breathing means more when shared. You wonder if he's always this gentle, or if it's something he offers only once. It doesn't matter. He's offering it now. Your hand finds his dot, not to pull, not to guide, just to meet. He laces your fingers together. That's it. That's everything. Shift closer. Your leg brushes his, your knees tucked together. The warmth between you builds, not in a rush, but in layers. Like candle wax melting slowly down the side of glass. Like sleep arriving in waves. Like breath, one after the other. He leans in again, and this time the kiss is deeper. Not fast, not commanding, just present. It unfolds like a conversation, the kind you have with your hands resting on someone's chest, your eyes closed, your breath sinking. His palm finds your back. Flat, warm, open. Your fingers move to his jaw. Soft stubble, warm skin, a quiet strength beneath it. The world narrows to this touch, this rhythm, this slowing down. Each movement comes after a pause. Every pause comes with the grace of asking, Dot. There is no need for instruction, Dot, no need to speak. Dot, you move together as if you were written into the same paragraph. His body learns yours with reverence, not ownership. Your breath becomes language. Your skin becomes agreement, Dot, when he kisses the hollow of your neck. He does so as if it were a place he never expected to find. You tilt your head in invitation, not permission. And still he waits. He waits for your hands to pull him closer. He waits for your thigh to curve against his. He waits for your breath to say yes, and when it does, it's not in a whisper. It's in a long, slow inhale, the kind that says, I trust you here. Not forever, not beyond this night, but here, now. He doesn't try to fill the silence. He lets it hum. Lets it wrap around your bodies like linen. His lips find the inside of your wrist. His hand drifts to your hip. There's no haste. No clumsy urgency, Dot, just hands that don't rush. Dot, your shirt rises in increments. Fingers trace your ribs like they're following lines of a poem. You arch not to be dramatic, but because your body wants to be understood, and he understands. Every motion is a question asked in softness, and your body answers with heat, with breath, with the way your eyes close even though you want to keep watching him. There's a kind of ceremony in this, not sacred in a religious sense, but in the sense that it's rare, two people choosing to be exactly where they are, Dot. No need for tomorrow, Dot, no. Need for promises, Dot, just this night, Dot, this sky, this rooftop, Dot, these limbs wrapped around breath and want. And the stunning quiet that lives between two yeses. When your clothes fall away, they don't feel discarded. They feel like pages turned, and when he touches you fully, you feel like a secret being kept, not used, not exposed. He moves as if the goal is not to reach something, but to remain inside something, a rhythm that belongs only to this moment. To you, to him, Dot, to now, Dot, you move with him, not beside, but with Dot together, Dot slow, Dot present, Dot like two waves that don't crash, but fold into each other. His voice is in your ear, low and wordless, just breath, just sound, just the warm hum of someone, staying exactly in the moment they were invited into. And when your body finally opens, when everything in you says yes, it is not loud. It is not wild, Dot. It is a blooming Dot, soft Dot, complete Dot, still Dot. And when it's done, when you lie tangled together beneath a sky so quiet it feels like it's waiting for you to speak again, you say nothing, because this is the part no words could ever name. You lie beside him now, your breathing still slowing, your chest rising like waves that remember the storm but are no longer inside it. The rooftop is quieter than ever, as if the world itself stepped back to give you this moment uninterrupted. The air doesn't press against your skin. It holds you light as a sheet, as gentle as his fingertip tracing a line between your shoulder blades. Neither of you speaks. There is no need to Dot in this hush, this fragile, beautiful hush. You begin to notice things. The way your heartbeat no longer feels separate from your breath. The way your leg still curves into his like you've always belonged there. The way he doesn't move away. Doesn't reach for his clothes. Doesn't check the time. He simply stays. That, more than anything, makes you soften. He's not asking what comes next. He's not asking who you are outside this rooftop or what you want from this night. He's just letting you be, not as an idea, not as an echo of someone before you, but as you, bare and quiet and completely seen. You rest your head against his chest, and the steady rhythm of his heart surprises you. Not its sound, but its effect. It grounds you, pulls you into stillness without demanding sleep. Your hand rests on his ribs. You feel his breath match yours. It's not passion now. It's presence. The kind that doesn't rush in with fire, that stays afterward to gather the ashes and say, I'm still here. He speaks finally, not a question, not a statement, just a small truth, wrapped in breath. You're easy to be quiet with. You smile against his chest. That's the best kind of compliment. I mean it. I know. There's a pause. Then he adds, sometimes quiet is the only way I know how to tell someone I like them. You lift your head just enough to look at him. I get that, you say. Sometimes words only make things less true. His hand finds yours, not to squeeze, not to signal anything urgent, just to feel where you are. You let your fingers slip between his again, the way you did earlier. This time slower, softer, not a spark, but a tether. You talk now, but it's different, lower, sleepier, confessional in the way only midnight can be. You say things you didn't expect to share, how you sometimes disappear into other people's stories just to avoid your own. How you tend to end things before they begin because the middle always gets messy. How you once cried in the middle of a crowded party and no one noticed. He doesn't try to fix any of it. He just listens. No nodding, no interruptions, just eyes that stay on yours. Just a stillness that says, I won't leave while you're unraveling. And when he speaks, it's not to offer answers, it's to show you where he's also broken. He tells you how he once left someone because he was afraid of being seen too clearly. How he sometimes dreams about people he never loved but still misses. How he finds it hard to believe anyone ever truly knows what they're doing. You rest your forehead against his shoulder. Not because you're sad, but because you finally feel understood. A softness builds between you. Not romantic in the way of roses or poems, but real, gentle. The kind of softness that comes after the walls fall and nothing crashes inside. His fingers drift across your bare back again. Slow, circular, not to arouse, not to tease. Just to reassure your skin it's safe. Being touched, that you are not too much. That you are not too strange. That you, as you are quiet, complex, inconsistent, are allowed. It's strange how rare that is. And how much you needed it without realizing you did. You lie like that for a long time, watching the ceiling of stars that isn't really stars, just the blank sky overhead, pale with distance. Still, it feels like a sky full of questions. You no longer need answered. His breathing deepens. Yours does too. You're not falling asleep exactly, but you're slipping into that space right before it. That in-between world where memories start to form in real time. You'll remember this moment one day, not because of what happened, but because of how you felt held in it. Not by arms, by calm, by being with someone who doesn't see you as something to name or fix or keep, just someone to lie beside, with nothing asked. And everything given. The sky softening, slowly, gently, like a breath held all might now letting itself go. The pale light creeps over the edge of the city, catching the rooftops first, then the telephone wires, then the edges of your clothes folded in a quiet pile beside you. It doesn't burst in. It seeps like something hesitant to end a dream. You feel it before you open your eyes. The shift in the air. The slight chill that wasn't there an hour ago. The deepened rhythm of his breath behind you. Not quite asleep, not quite awake. Still there. Still with you. You shift slightly, turning your face toward him. He's lying on his back now, one arm draped across his chest, the other curled close to your waist. His eyes are closed, but his face is calm in a way that feels rare. You watch the early light graze across his cheek, softening the edges, catching in his lashes. You want to memorize this, not just the image, but the stillness it carries. You could stay here longer, but the morning has already started to call your name. You sit up slowly, careful not to jolt the moment. You pull the blanket back around your shoulders, the one he pulled from his coat to cover you both at some forgotten hour. The rooftop feels different now. Not less sacred, just touched by time. The magic hasn't left, but it's beginning to lift its weight off the air. He stirs, blinking once, then again. His eyes find yours, and he doesn't speak. He just watches you like he's trying to make the same kind of memory you are. Morning, he says, voice rough with sleep. You nod. Almost. A beat passes. You're both waiting to see if this moment will pretend to be something it's not. If the spell will stretch awkwardly into questions like, will I see you again? Or what are you doing later? But neither of you says it because you already know. Some nights are not meant to become mornings. Some stories don't survive the sun, and they're more beautiful for it. You begin to dress slowly. Not because you're in a hurry, but because you're not. You slip your shirt over your head, brush your fingers through your hair, reach for your shoes. He sits up too, crossing his legs as he watches you. He doesn't try to stop you, doesn't reach for his phone, doesn't shrink from the quiet. Instead, he offers you something rare, a calm goodbye. You okay? He asks. You nod. I am. Good. You stand and glance around once more, the way you do when leaving a room you'll never see again. You want to remember it, the smell of old stone, the way the air felt thin but gentle, the place where your bodies curved like commas against the sky. He stands too, pulling on his coat. When he steps closer, you feel that familiar heat again, but it doesn't carry the urgency it did last night. It's softer now, like the warmth of a hand you've already held. He looks at you. Thank you. For what? You ask. For not pretending this has to be more than what it was. You smile. It already was enough. You both stand still for a moment longer. Then finally, you lift your hand, touch his cheek, and press. Your lips once to his, not a kiss of beginning. A kiss of closure, of care, of quiet gratitude. Then you turn. You descend the fire escape. Your steps slow, deliberate. The city greets you gently. The streets are still empty, washed in silver light. The scent of bread rises from somewhere nearby. A delivery truck hums softly at the end of the block. You walk with your hands in your coat pockets. You don't check your phone. You don't replay the night in fragments. You hold it whole, inside your chest, like a glass bead, smooth, complete. Without cracks, Dot, it was never a promise, never a mistake. Just something rare, Dot, something that didn't need to last. In order to matter. A night with a stranger whose name you may forget, but whose quiet hands will stay with you. Long after the sky turned pally and you finally let yourself leave. Sometimes, the most honest thing two people can do is share one night without asking for. Forever. Not because love is missing, but because presence is enough. Not every stranger becomes a story, but some become a pause in time you'll carry in your bones long after the sun comes up.